What's up, YouTubers? I'm Diver Dave. We're still in the dive lab. I got coffee around here somewhere, but forget all that. I've got a question for you. You're about to giant stride off the side of the charter boat. How do you know that your tank valve is on? Coming up next, we talk all about it. We are stuffed in the corner of the dive lab, and I've got my recreational dive gear set up here just to go over this scenario. How do I know that my tank valve is fully open before I decide to giant stride off the side of a charter boat? If I take a look at my SPG right now, it reads 3,000 PSI. If I'm not careful, that can be a tad misleading as I'm about to giant stride off, because it could just be showing me the pressure that is in just the SPG hose. In this particular instance, my tank valve is fully off and the SPG still reads 3,000 PSI. So think about the next scenario. I take a look at my SPG, it says 3,000, and that's all I do. Now I'm about to giant stride off and I go through my giant stride process. I am now in the water and I'm about to start breathing from my regulator. We grab our regulator. We take a few breaths as we start to descend. We are now in an out of air scenario, which is now a critical event. Not only do I not have air to breathe, but I also don't have air to put in my BCD. I am now descending with no way of putting air in my BCD, and I have no air to breathe. All because I skipped one important check before I decided to jump off the side of the charter boat. Let's go back and open up our valve completely, and always, and I said this before, make sure that your valve is always full open. Do not let anyone convince you to be a quarter turn back on your valve. I'm back to 3,000 PSI, and now I'm gonna go through my giant stride routine, which is hand over the reg, fingers pushing on the mask. Left hand has the console up so I can watch the SPG. I'm going to now take a couple breaths and watch the needle. Obviously the needle doesn't move, and now I'm going to scan below to make sure I'm not jumping on anyone, and as well as looking at the horizon to do a nice giant stride off the side of the boat. Now I know and have confirmed that my tank valve is fully open. But we're not done. There's one more scenario. Your buddy could have made a mistake and turned your valve all the way off, but just slightly on. And so if we go with that scenario, slightly crack it open, we go through our giant stride routine once again. I'm now watching that SPG before I take a step off. The needle should not move. I call it dancing. If you see the SPG needle dancing, you know your tank valve is not fully open. Let's take a look. So you can see that SPG needle is dancing. In this particular case, dancing is no good. And by the way, it's dancing at 1 atmosphere. Guess what it's going to do at 3 or 4 atmospheres? This is not good. So always remember, the needle has to stay firm when you're doing the test breathe before you giant stride off. Always have your tank valve completely open before you take that giant stride. And last but not least, before you decide to take the plunge into the water, always take a few test breaths, watch your SPG, and make sure that that needle does not move. Practice hard, dive safe. All right, welcome back. We are stuffed in the corner of, you're about to giant stride off the side of the, I cover my reg with my mouth. I cover my reg with my mouth. Yeah. What's up, YouTubers? I'm Diver Dave. We're still in the dive lab, and today I've got a very important question for you, other than the fact of where the f is my coffee. How do you do it? Let's talk about it. You're about to giant stride off the side of a chart, but all divers who forget that